And yeah, thank you everyone that showed up for this live AMA with the Huddle team. Um, Today I have the great pleasure of introducing two members from the Huddle team that will be answering your questions. There have been a lot of wonderful questions, and we maybe might have a third one that will join in a bit later. So why don't you guys start by introducing yourself?
Yeah, I'm Yash and I lead business events partnerships for Huddle01. Uh, Huddle is in the space from the last 4 years, and I have joined them back in 2021. So it's been 2.5, 3 years with Huddle already, and the team is fantastic. I have with me Om. Om, you wanna introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, guys. Myself, I am the founding engineer at Huddle, and yeah, we build stuff, and real excited to talk about like DRTC and answer your questions, whatever you have around media notes and stuff.
Up and before Huddle, I was with enterprise companies working in sales and business development. At Salesforce, I've been working in AI space as well. So it's been 4 to 5 years since I've been into business development. Uh, Web3 happened because just came across Huddle, and I found it really interesting. Apart from trading NFTs and tokens, and of course, so yeah, in the industry from the last 5 years, I think Shushmit is here as well. Sushmit, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
GM guys, so happy to be here and meet you all here through Discord digitally on those parts. So yeah, like a brief introduction about me. So I'm technical co-founder at Huddle01. Previously, I was a entrepreneur at like making India's first decentralized exchange. Then I sold those decentralized exchange to CoinDCX. CoinDCX is now one of the unicorn in India that handles a cryptocurrency exchange on those parts. And then in one of the hackathon, I met Ayush and we built Huddle01. So we won that hackathon, and from 4 years, like we have raised $6 million, and now building out this network, and basically now distributing this network to community, like becoming this community owned through node sale mechanisms. So yeah.
Awesome, perfect. Thank you everyone for coming. And yeah, we have a lot of questions, so I think we can just get started. But I would pick specific question to start with, I think, because it got me interested also. So HNFB asks, why is this project called Huddle 01? Will be there be a Huddle 02? If so, what will it be?
Yeah, so it's like a very interesting question that we have, right? So the one of the core proposition why we have this name huddle and like a number 01 is very simple, right? So huddle is like we are right now huddling. So it's like a people group of people meeting. But what Huddle01 does it that it enables this meeting cross continental on the internet, right? And now internet is comprises of computers, and computers only understand this language in 0 and 1. So that's where like we got this name idea of naming Huddle as Huddle01, and it also becomes like a unique identifier to Huddle's product line. So it's just like iPhone, like it has this iPad, iPhone, and all of those parts. So right now, what started to happen, like we came up with this name Huddle01, and then people started loving it. Now it's like every other like branded that comes from Huddle, they just put like 01 in the end on those part of things. So this is like the core motivation behind like the naming of Huddle. So it's basically it enabling collaboration cross-continentally over internet, and internet is comprised of computer, which like computer's language is 0 and 1. So that's why Huddle01. Huddle 01.
That's a great answer actually, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Um, So let's move on to the next question. From Jams, can you describe what current platforms will be your main competitors that are currently in mainstream use, and what problem that exists currently that you see your product solves? I.e., what is the market need for Huddle, and how do you see its selling point to board the mass consumers? What might be some of the main challenges to you to gain full adoption?
Very interesting question, right? So like Huddle, what it particularly solves is real-time communication on those part, right? So your WhatsApp call, your Telegram call, even in fact, this Discord call, Twitter Spaces, or Google Meet or Zoom, they all work on a technology called real-time communication. So now these are the application on top of this technology. But right now, if you see in Web2 world, like the direct competitors are like LiveKit, Daily, 100ms, and Agora, and all of them are like having a lot of revenues in them. I would like briefly discuss about like what's the market value on top of it, and Web3 has never seen such kind of network building on top of it. So layer one is like it's a global state machine, right? It actually maintains this state on those part, and layer two basically scales them out. DRTC network by Huddle is layer RTC, like it enables real time communication. So imagine like your wallet can call to other wallet in a very decentralized way. Now in Zoom, you cannot be a or in LiveKit, like you cannot be one of the no server in the LiveKit, or you can like whatever the revenue Zoom is making, you don't get a single pie of it, or whatever revenue like LiveKit is making, you don't get a single pie of it. Huddle's DRTC network actually changes that. So you can be like one of those node that powers this real-time communication, and this network basically handles this uh, Web3 WhatsApp call, Web3 Discord, and all of those part of things, and it brings all of those value on chain, and it distributes this value to the end users, which is media node operators. Now talking about the market value, right now, do, do you know like Zoom is valuated around $22 billion, and they make roughly around $3 to $4 billion every year in revenue. Same is for Agora, they make like $100 million in revenue every year. All of those is like
Sorry,
hey,
it's
so
fixed.
all of those like basically capitalized by like few people like sitting behind the desk, right? And this is like about to grow. Right now, real-time communication industry is overall valued around $35 billion, but by 2030, it would increase to 100 billion. And there is like 35% CAGR that is included. So we can bring this new growth that is happening in real-time communication on chain, and we can distribute this value to end user. Like we can like decentralize it, removing the servers. Now what DRTC network does is that what actually Apple did to computers. Like previously computers were in factories by IBM, they used to be like giant, but like what Apple or Steve Jobs did was like he brought those computers, scaled it down, and brought it to people's houses. And you can see the innovations that we are seeing, right? Everything now we can order cabs, we can order food right from our mobile. Same is here in this case. Right now, these servers that basically controls the world's real-time communication service can like we can bring those into people houses as a deepened network. So now people can run this node in their normal laptop and all of those things and earn the value that the network is generating.
Awesome. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for that answer. Yeah.
yeah, and if I have to add to that, Philip, let me quickly share. Eventually, if you ask us who's our real competition, I wouldn't say that we are going against Zoom or Google Meet, or we are going against Daily Live Kit, Agora, Ring Central, or these CPaaS players that Sushmit is just mentioning. In a hindsight, if you look at the ultimate vision of Huddle 01, we are sort of going against the cloud providers. All these cloud providers like AWS, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, they support audio video routing of data over the internet. So let's say if a business is paying $1,000 to Zoom for their in application audio video capabilities, Zoom has to pay ultimately about uh, I think about $800 to AWS, just so that AWS can help that particular application support audio video routing of data over the internet. And this is what Huddle DRTC protocol actually solves. So everybody in this call, if they are interacting with our network in some way or the other, there's a high probability that these people are acting as a node on it on their own, and they can actually earn Huddle tokens in return. So the application that we use, Huddle 01 application for audio video meetings, that is live and that is actually being run on the nodes that we have in our, that we are hosting internally. So this entire node sale exercise is a major step towards scaling the network so that we can support uh, uh, thousands of minutes of audio video calling happening all across the world, across continent at super optimal latencies, and a much cheaper alternative to what AWS or DigitalOcean or similar cloud providers has to have to offer. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And great that you have some visual aid there also. I think that really helps visualize it. Um, yeah, and another question actually from Jams, which I think a lot of you are wondering about. Uh, how does the node emission maintain value? I.e., where does the buy pressure come from to prevent dilution?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, right? So like if you can see like the DRTC network, it is comprised of nodes, but on top of the network there are applications running. So right now there is Huddle Meet app running, there is Farhouse app running, and there are integrations which is SDKs. So all the Web3 social media that Lens is powering, Huddle SDKs is there on that part of things. So Huddle Meet has already crossed like 7 million minutes, and it is always increasing on those parts. But think of it like this: the more applications comes on top of DRTC network, the more revenue the DRTC network, and all the revenue that the network make is actually given to media node operator, and that is where the value for the token is actually coming. The other thing is like roughly speaking, like if suppose Huddle Meet actually takes like gets the service of 1,000 minutes of audio from DRTC network, they pay $1 to the DRTC network. So the thing is like for every 1,000 minutes that is consumed by the DRTC network, $1 is earned as revenue, and that revenue is distributed to the media node holders. So imagine like if a network is like processing 10 million minutes like a day, so divided by 1,000 and take that range to $1 to $4, that would be the revenue or the value that would be flowing into Huddle tokens. But we also have this plans of like media nodes and then TG listing in Q1 of 2025.
Great. Thank you very much. Um, Next question from Starter, which I also think is a very popular question here, is uh, will it be possible to delegate nodes, and what is the computer requirements uh, for
Yeah,
hosting
I
a node?
think yeah. So we have worked on this problem like quite a bit on those, but I think Om is the perfect guy to answer this.
Yeah, so we have two kinds of media nodes. One is 4 vCPU, 250 Mbps, and the other is 8 vCPU and 1 Gbps. So basically two kinds of nodes, and every type of node accepts different kinds of delegation. So the 4 vCPU one accepts 10 delegations, and the 8 vCPU ones accepts 40 delegations. So when I say delegations, I mean 40 licenses or the media nodes that you're going to buy. And there's a very innovative reason why the 8 vCPU one accepts 40 and the 4 vCPU ones accepts 10, because we want higher quality nodes to be a part of the network. So 8 vCPU one is, a, 8 vCPU one can be attached with the 40 licenses. So that answers the node requirements, and that answers the questions of whether we have seat delegation or not.
Perfect, thank you. And just the last part of his question, which I didn't say, but he's asking, will it be possible to sell nodes in the future?
Like till TG, media notes licenses are not transferable, but yeah, post TG we will look into it.
All right.
Yeah, for now, Philip, for 1 year, the NFT licenses are non-transferable, very similar to every other node sales that has happened in the past. But yes, you'll have more clarity on this post the TGE, and we might look into avenues where we can probably decrease this amount of time for people to hold.
Awesome. Thank you. A great question from MR. The idea of media nodes is to power video calls in a decentralized manner. With the same infrastructure, can Huddle expand into other segments/use cases? If so, can you give us examples? Is the market for these alternative use cases bigger than that for video calls?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yes, you
Om, do you
should
want
go
to
on.
take this up?
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no. I'll pick it up. Yeah.
I'll just add my 2 cents and maybe Om will take it up next. But like think of this as a highway, right? So this network actually processes like transfer of audio video packets, which is data packets, bidirectionally in less than 100 milliseconds. That's what the network is to. And it can be used for other use cases. Like, so one of the use cases is CDN. So you can like basically have this local transfer to regional places in a very super high speed. The other thing is like you can make a high frequency trading machine with this network. The third is like cloud gaming. So instead of like running the game in your PC, which takes a lot of resources, you can run it in a dedicated infrastructure and play it around the world anywhere. And that part, because the latency is very fine. The other is telecontrols. So you can like basically if you have robots or if you have CCTV cameras and other things, you can control it like from any part of the world in this part. But apart from that, like live streaming, interactive live streaming, and even the swarms, like the if you want to like fly a couple of drones, like 100, 200 drones in the fly, the network can be used for those purposes also. So it is not limited to like audio video. In the fact, it can be used for further more use cases.
Like I will just add on that the RTC is built in a way where we like, strategically went with UDP. So I will just go a little bit technical into this. We strategically went with UDP and we built the whole protocol on top of WebRTC. And the beauty of WebRTC is that it provides you tunnels between two people. Like it's a peer-to-peer protocol in a very low level infrastructure. So we built a whole protocol over WebRTC, which provides a P2P tunnel between two machines, two people, two browsers, to anything, two IoT devices. And you can basically send any kind of data between like on this tunnel, inside this tunnel. And the beauty again is that you can send data with 100 milliseconds. Like maximum the protocol tries to keep the latency below 100 milliseconds. And then it's incentivized with the distributed nature that we have, like the algorithms that we built over DRTC, which is like cascading, which enables like global average latency of 100 milliseconds. So the use cases expands from real-time communication to any kind of real-time communication. That can be CDN serving you data. We actually tried to, incorporate the RTC with Filecoin and, build a CDN out of it. So the use cases of DRTC are just not limited to video calls. It can be extended to, anything which needs real-time data transfer, which I think is literally everything in 21st century. So yeah, so that is I think the end goal where we want to take the RTC. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Great, perfect. Love that answer. Um, and while we're on this more technical topic, I have a personal question to ask, or not personal in this sense, but from me. You guys recently had a unveil of your new white paper. Is there anything from that white paper you would like to highlight today in this AMA?
Yeah, in terms of use cases, Philip.
Just in general, what is most exciting about your white paper reveal?
Yeah, actually, I sent the white paper to a lot of people who worked in P2P and distributed systems. And more than tokenomics, like I'm very biased in this, but more than tokenomics, everyone was interested with quality of service scores. Like how do we do quality of service assurance, and how do we keep the network secure and running so that nodes don't go out. Let's say nodes don't go down, and we keep the network running because at Huddle, we have the demand. Like we have built the Huddle01, like the Meet application, and we want like in future DRTC to handle that. So we don't want the network to go down any day. So everyone was very excited about QoS, like the quality of service, and how do we do it. So well, answer this, ask this question in here also. Like it's the QoS is based on a very elegant game theory problem. The problem goes like, how will you divide a chocolate between two people, like two kids? Like how one kid will divide a chocolate between two kids? Like how will that problem be solved? And the answer to that problem was it has to be where both the kids test each other and keep a check and balance on each other. That is the only solution. Like you can't divide a chocolate anywhere anyhow else. So that is how we built the QoS system, where there will be a challenger and approval model where one will test the other, and the other will test the person who tested. But the elegance of this is like that the testing will be done between two challenger and approver in a very random way. And to introduce that randomness is also a very difficult problem of distributed systems. I can't cover it on like in this AMA because it's a very technical like what you can say, it's a very technical discussion. But yeah, if any one of you want to read about white paper, like in a white paper and any specific section, then I will generally recommend you guys to go and read the QoS section, apart from the tokenomics, obviously, because that's the highlight of the white paper
Yeah,
for me specifically.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like particularly like what we have seen is like the technical innovations that we have seen, right? QO is one of those part. And the other cool thing that we actually introduced in white paper is called cascading. So it's one of the best scaling solution that we have seen in the industry. So it's because of the cascading scalability, and white paper actually outlines each and everything how we actually do this cascading. So with cascading, we can actually scale a single call to up to 10,000 people and even more if you want. Like we just need to cascade more nodes. So like I'll give you a brief how actually cascading works. So suppose like this call is happening in USA and the other there are a group of people who came from USA and there are a group of people suppose they came from Thailand. So there are like 100 people who came from Thailand and there are like 100 people who came from USA. So how do we coordinate this part, right? So there would always be a node. If the DRTC network is online, there would be a node in USA and there would be a node in Thailand. And now these two nodes can actually cascade in real time and become a super node to power those meetings of 200 people. Now we actually tested this also, and we were able to scale it up to 10,000 people. But I think we are pretty much confident that it can scale to much more bigger numbers. So yeah, like in the RTC network, nodes actually work in a very collaborative way called cascading to scale the calls out in a very real time manner. So it's super scalable, and it also decreases the latency, right? So it does not go the packets do not go out to like random routers over the internet. They just have this tunnel between these two nodes and they're like secured and they are transferred to this in a very low latency. So that's how we achieve like higher performance, and we also achieve like higher scalability because of the scalability solution also. And now all of this quality of service is actually maintained by QoS module that Om has actually described out about. And now to make it decentralized, like we added crypto economics, right? So it's completely bottom up. No one, like only the community can control this network. It's not in like control of single entity, and anyone is free to join the network. So now this is like you can earn 500 tokens per day by just having this node running into the network. And for the end user, it's very easy to like run the node. You just like you will have like script. So if you are putting it in our infrastructure, you can like run some commands, CLI commands, and it would set up in your own setup. Or otherwise, you can delegate to one of the NAS. NAS is like you basically just click and deploy, and they would like handle all the grunt work of the nodes, and you can just put your NFTs to that and earn the revenue from those NFTs.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm not sure if you mentioned that already, but I know we had a question from Hennefy here if the nodes are able to run in a VPS.
Yes, yes. Like the nodes are like Dockerized and you can run. It's like a binary, so they can run on any infrastructure that you desire, basically.
Awesome, awesome. And while we are on the decentralization and the node transferring data, we had a good question come in here during the AMA from Tolga. Given the sensitivity of data in real-time communication, how does Huddle audit or penalize nodes that attempt data breaches?
Yeah, so I just described the quality of service, right? So this quality of service is basically a test which keeps on happening and it keeps on generating a reputation for each kind of nodes. And if the node is not, let's say, the node said that, hey, I have 1 Gbps or I have 250 Mbps, but it's not providing that kind of bandwidth over a period of time, then it will be slashed. And you have like a slashing mechanism which will penalize it basically. And the reputation will go down and it will decrease the chances for that node to basically serve a new load or new person, like a new RTC session. So yeah, that is how Huddle01 maintains it. But how do we get the data? That's the QoS that I just explained.
Okay. Yeah, I think the question was more if someone tries to steal the data, not the but if the bandwidth was not up to
Oh,
speed. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So yeah, data breaches are not possible. Like it's not possible because we are using WebRTC. I said like the whole infrastructure is built upon WebRTC, and WebRTC itself is protected by DTLS. So DTLS is basically an extension of TLS, and TLS is which protects the whole internet. So whenever you go on a website, that website is protected by a TLS certificate. So WebRTC itself is protected by DTLS, which is an extension of TLS over UDP. So that's like a little bit of technical terms, but data breach in sense is not possible. Like they can't steal your audio video. And just on that, Huddle01, like DRTC provides a tunnel, as I said. You can send any kind of data on that tunnel. So it's just not audio video. It can be literally be anything. So yeah, data breaches are not possible in sense. Uh, so yeah, if someone breaks TLS, then they can literally break the whole internet. So yeah, it's not possible in sense.
So
Yeah.
TLS
Yeah.
and SR, they're like bunch of protocol. So like DRTC actually operates on WebRTC protocol, and WebRTC protocol is also bunch of protocols like, and they are secured by cryptography. And this is the same cryptography that actually secures our private and public key, which is like SHA-256, right? So like you can be very ensured like, okay, these are like data breaches won't be happening on the media nodes. But the other cool thing is like about end-to-end encryption, right? So we have already demonstrated in one of our events called Phil Bangalore. And actually I cannot post the link here, but like if whenever like I am like in the Starland, or like I will just put the link to mod of the Discord, and they can put the link where like there is a video showing how actually video is actually shown to this media node. So it's completely encrypted, and it can be encrypted with the keys that you desire. The call in itself. So yeah, on the basis level, like even like this end-to-end possibility for the on the media nodes, and even the protocol it itself secured by this DTLS and SRTP. I have actually written an article on these things, but I don't know if I can. I actually shared one link, but it got deleted. But like happy to share that privacy and security link, how it actually operates in the DRTC network.
Send it to me.
And
I will
even
make sure it gets posted in the chat.
yeah, yeah. So can I share the link in the chat?
Send it to me on Telegram. Send it in Telegram group, and I will post it in the chat here. Or Nick can probably post it. He's more admin rights to me.
Yep, let me do that. I'll send it to Yash, and he'll get it to you.
Right. Mm. But yeah, we can continue in the meantime with a different question here, uh, which is from Lisa. And Lisa asks, what is the marketing plans for Huddle? What is the USP and how are you going to attract new user? Why does a user need Huddle? What is the potential market size?
I think probably Yash can answer this very well.
So the marketing strategy, it's very similar to how the traditional Web2 industry works in terms of acquiring new users. You show a lot of value proposition. In our case, the target audience is majorly Web3 audience for the moment, at least for an application level, that the infrastructure that we have. So there are three layers to what we do. One is our application. So anybody can go to app.huddle01.com and just use the platform like a Zoom or a Google Meet for their day-to-day task. It has multiple integrations like Google Meet. There's cal.com integration as well. So in case you are into calendars, you can actually Huddle01 can be your default provider in cal.com. The second layer is wherein we have our SDKs. That is one of the primary layers that we are really focused on. The reason being, with SDKs comes a lot of traction. The market in itself is $1 billion, it's $1 trillion industry out there. As Shushmit, I think, recently mentioned it as well on the call that it's a $1 billion industry. If you look at the target segment that we're targeting right now, if you are able to tap into, let's say, just 5% of the total usage that Zoom has, it will be one of the largest revolution in the Web3 industry itself. And One of the reasons we target SDKs is so I'll give you an example wherein we are onboarding Fan TV. It's one of the most active user base on Web3 with about 4 million users using Fan TV application for their daily live streams. It's sort of an Instagram for Web3, and it just shows they have a lot of users as well. Now they ran into a problem that one of the major problem that we are here is because the RTC industry in itself, the real-time communication industry, is very expensive in a way that there is no transparent pricing available to anyone traditionally. Then there is at if you go at scale, the unit economics fail, and that is exactly what is sort of happening with Fan TV right now. uh, Getting users was one thing for them. Now maintaining those users, maintaining those daily activity of these users using their live streams, audio rooms, video rooms, streaming like a YouTube inside their application. Now the problem that they have bumped into is with a daily active user base of about 100K, uh, how do we manage the pricing of the entire thing? The pricing is sort of shooting in millions every day, and that is where we came into the picture because we are sort of decentralizing the entire piece. Remember, I spoke about the AWS. So any CPaaS players currently who exist in the market who provide such capabilities, they depend on these central cloud providers, which are sort of a mafia in this space because nobody has any alternative to these players. Once we are able to decentralize that, the middleman cost of AWS is out of the question. So, in a way, the user pays directly for the services that they are using in a very transparent manner, in a way that the costs are almost 80% cheaper if you compare it to any other similar player in the industry. And that is one of the major reason Fan TV is sort of moving on the DRTC network. As soon as the testnet is live, their application will be live on DRTC itself. From day one, we will be clocking more than 12 million minutes every month, and with 4 million active users on the DRTC network, apart from our existing user base. In terms of how we are marketing it, we're sort of marketing it for the Web3 niche crowd at the moment. With our note sales, if you see, a lot of campaigns are on. We're doing a lot of podcast because eventually we have to make sure that people are aware of the tech, the seriousness of it, what we are building right now. Uh, I'll share my screen again. I'm just, I'm into BD, so I'm just sort of a lot into the visual clues for the audience.
I
Uh,
think it's perfect. It's
this
perfect.
is what Yeah, so this is what our ecosystem currently looks like. So if you see, the entire Lens protocol is currently using us for anything audio video on chain. There are a couple of like a Favor, like a CyberConnect ecosystem, like a Lens ecosystem. So any SocialFi application that is built on top of these protocols, or whatever they like to call themselves, the social layer, uh, if they have audio capabilities or video capabilities, it is being powered by Huddle01's DRTC network in a way because these people are directly interacting with the network using our SDKs. And similarly, we have Web2 clients as well, wherein you will see Care Me Health, Innerverse Care, EdTech client, Juvie, Surasa. These are very legacy company. These are very legacy tech. And the interesting part is to operate in healthcare, you need HIPAA compliance. But when we actually spoke with the team there, they understood the tech. They realized it's end-to-end encrypted, and we are not storing any data because it is decentralized. So eventually, the ownership of the data of the audio video calls that is happening on chain is with Care Me Health, and that is why we sort of ended up integrating with them. And then a lot of collaborative tooling. I just mentioned cal.com. We have a native integration, so if you're into calendars, you can actually schedule call directly on Huddle01 using your link. Then Ethermail, Mailchain, they are using us as Gmeet of Web3. So these are mailing clients. You can use Mailchain and Ethermail as a mailing provider for you for yourself instead of Gmeet or Gmail or Microsoft Outlook. They are using Huddle01 tech for their in-application Gmeet sort of a feature wherein anybody can sort of video call each other. And then Fan TV I just mentioned. And apart from that, a lot of interesting things are happening with Aptos and Filecoin. We use Filecoin storage, so there is a native option on the application and or our developer docs as well, wherein you can directly store these recordings on Filecoin. We have recently got into a partnership with Zero G Labs as well. Another node sales apparently coming. Now we'll be integrating their tech in our stack as well. So anywhere by default, you can actually store your data on chain with Zero G, with Filecoin, or with any other similar providers in the space. And of course, so next stage of unlocking growth for Huddle01 is of course the gaming industry and the AI space. Uh, there's an AI agent that Om and another developer or development team has sort of built internally. So you can actually invite an AI agent to your call. They will be acting as a peer. They will help you understand the concepts. They can do a live transcript or a sort of a let's say if I'm with a Chinese client, that AI agent native to Huddle01 DRTC network can actually translate it over a live call so that you can actually understand if somebody is from a different region with a different mother tongue altogether. And yeah, so the next stage of growth for Huddle is, of course, the gaming industry, wherein there are a couple of gaming studios. One is Zai, of course. The other one is OP Games. We are soon onboarding Magic Eden and Aether as well, wherein all the games who are in a multiplayer scenario, and if they require spatial audio or proximity chat, they can actually use our SDKs inside their game with everything audio and video, and they can actually with one click, they don't have to use a third party service. With one click they can actually live stream it on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Gmeet all at once. You do not have to cater to your audiences using different tools. You can actually use one tool and cater to everybody else in one single click. I hope that answers the question, Philip.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a really interesting use case for proximity chat. I remember using TeamViewer with a plugin for my proximity chats back when I was playing Arma. Uh, so yeah, and this also answered the question Tolga was asking about if you are planning to integrate with Web3 gaming systems, decentralized gaming, or immersive VR applications. Um, so yeah, a lot of use cases there. Uh, we have another question from Tolga. Do you have any plans for a physical DPIN device or product?
Uh,
Deep in device, the media
yeah.
node. Yeah. So like right now, like we are focusing on the NFT sale, like on phase one and phase two. But maybe like on the next year, we might come out with a physical deep-in device that is like one person can buy off the shelf. But right now, in the near terms, next 6 months, we don't have any such plans.
All right, thank you. And yeah, I've went through a lot of the questions here. Some of the questions were duplicates, so I had to sort them out. And but now we will be giving the open mic to the audience to ask questions. Either if there's something I missed among the questions already asked, or if you want to dive deeper, or if there was a subject that wasn't broached at all. So yeah, we if anyone wants to ask a question, you can go ahead. All right, sounds like most of us got our questions answered. Um, I just have one last question, and I know you guys have been broaching it a bit, uh, but the uh, the test net that is going to be live, you have reserved 21% of the supply, and with the daily reward of 5 huddle. Uh, Let's say that amount of nodes that you are planning to sell is not reached. Is the daily reward going to increase for those who decided to invest in your nodes? Which is the amount of testnet rewards that becomes available at TG?
Hey, actually, I didn't get the question.
Uh, so it's a question from MR. The entire question was, during testnet, you have reserved 21% of the supply as rewards with daily rewards of a rate, daily
Yeah,
rewards with the 5 huddle for every node. Let's say that the amount of nodes that you're planning to sell is not reached. Is the daily reward
yeah.
going to increase for those who decided to invest in your nodes? Which is the amount of
Uh,
testnet rewards that become available at TG, I guess is the second part of that question.
Yeah, so ultimately, I think the tokens that are left remaining, right, that would be given to the media nodes in itself. So that's how we are actually planned. But I think that would be in mainnet, not in the testnet. In testnet, it's very much fixed. Like a person who has a Huddle node can earn up to 5 Huddle tokens per day. But in case suppose like the all the nodes does not get sent out, so whenever there is like a mainnet, we would be distributing that tokens to the nodes in the mainnet in itself.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and having this AMA with the Starlaunch community. It's been very educational. I learned a lot. And I hope everyone here has done so also and gotten all their questions answered. So yeah, thank you guys a lot for coming.
Yeah,
Thanks a
thanks
lot.
a lot, Philip. I think these were amazing questions. You could hear the excitement while Om was speaking, right? So, it's a team that has given its blood and sweat into this project from the last 4 years, and it just shows, when they talk. I was just writing it on the group that Om was probably on the edge of his seat while he was asked the question about white paper, because he's so much into it that he just probably just wants to show off that he has written the white paper and that tech actually works in real life. And yeah, so 8th of November is the guys. We're going live with our sales. Our Star Launch has been a very close partner, a very good one as well. So Philip, thank you so much for having me. I know Erling is not here, but probably in an EMA upcoming dates on our end, I think we'll invite your entire community there as well. Would love to have a chat with her. And yes, guys, and with the Fan TV integration, it will eventually place us as one of the largest deepen in the space with 4 million users from the word get go. So yeah, please do check out Fan TV as well in case you want to get an idea of what sort of implementation this is. But yes, and in case there are any other question, Phillips, just make sure probably my team has joined the Discord server here, so we'll make sure that we answer them very proactively. Thanks a lot
Yeah,
again.
extremely delighted to be here. So like I really love the community here at Star Launch on those part. But here are like the major things that you can expect right now from Huddle01. So you, like people can go to whitelist and get whitelisted themselves. So whitelist has special perks like you get like 10% discount and you have like higher chances of getting the nodes in itself. Because like whitelist sales would open at 6 and like there would always be public sales. So like top tiers would also be there are certain number of nodes reserved for public sales also. So like one can go and directly buy from the public sale in itself. But apart from them, like we have a lot of good news for all the communities, and we would be announcing them soon on all of our channels. So would request everyone to be like super active in wherever they are. But yeah, great fan of like Star Launch, and thanks for having us here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
All right. Bye
All right,
bye.
guys.
Have a
Cheers.
great day.
Nice.
And yeah, we will be drawing the winners for the Stars lottery. Everyone can leave the channel. It's all good. I have taken screenshots and we'll be announcing the winner in a couple of hours at least. But thank you everyone for tuning in and have a
Yeah.
great evening.